Hello. Welcome to Rainy Day Podfic. I'm your host, Jay, Pan, or Bean, whichever you prefer, or come up with a new name for me and put it down in the comments. Today I will be reading Prelude Maxixe, Chapter 4, Futons and Lo-Fi. This is the last official chapter of Prelude Maxixe, and then it is on to Interlude Morganite, which is a one-shot with only just over 1,000 words. So the series will be ending very soon, the Barrel series. Sorry, I'm not sure I say that right. Izuku knew that Shoto, or should he call him Todoroki, probably had some sort of bad household or school life, but he genuinely hadn't expected this. It was blindingly obvious that he didn't have a cheerful childhood. That much was obvious, but this was too much. But heroes. To think that something so horrid could happen to a child, no, a family, all because a criminal was supposedly a good hero. That left more disbelief and betrayal in Izuku's heart than he cared to admit. He wanted to march right up to the Hero Commission and demand for them to arrest Endeavor, but he knew he wouldn't be able to, and besides, something else was more important right now. Shoto looked at him, his eyes clearly reflecting the tiredness he felt, a few glass tears streaming down his face. It took all of Izuku's power to not burst into tears right then and there, but he knew that wouldn't do Shoto anything good. Instead, all Izuku could do was sit in the unforgiving silence. Hesitating for a moment, he quickly flipped out his phone, trying to type in his password as fast as humanly possible. He didn't want to seem like he was being insecure by using his phone after Shoto had just spilled all of his pain, but Izuku thought that this might be the best course of action right now. Clicking one final button, he closed his phone with a soft but upbeat melody danced around the air. Shoto's face visibly relaxed after a while, still tense, but not as much as before. Izuku smiled through chattering teeth at the sight, feeling much more relieved now that Shoto didn't look like he was hiding from a murderer. He looked a lot warmer, too. His face and arms no longer held the tint of ice blue. The song came to a finish after several more minutes, and Izuku let it repeat a few more times, knowing that the other boy needed it, before hurriedly standing up, pulling Shoto along with him. "Come on," he said, trying to keep his voice from shivering with the cold. Shoto nodded and let himself get dragged as Izuku steered them in the direction that he came from. He hoped his mother wouldn't mind Shoto staying over, since he clearly needed somewhere safe to stay, somewhere that wasn't his house. Izuku stopped in front of the familiar cafe, pulling Shoto in as the bell chimes behind them, hoping that he isn't bothering anyone. The green-haired boy hesitantly calls out, "Hako?" and a head of amethyst-purple hair pops out from the back of the store. "Izuku, you're here again," she happily greets before spotting Shoto, who is standing behind him. "It's pretty late, and you are?" She directs the last part of the sentence to Shoto, who quietly mumbles his name. Smiling, Hako grabs 2 paper cups from the counter, asking if they want hot chocolate. Izuku quickly accepts, Shoto reluctantly nodding behind him. Hako hands them the hot chocolate before returning to the back of the bakery. Izuku quickly pulled Shoto towards one of the cushioned chairs, sitting him down with one of the warm drinks. They sat in silence for a bit, only the sound of the heater and some lo-fi hip-hop song playing quietly in the background. Izuku still wasn't sure what to say, so he just kept his mouth shut, watching Shoto as he took a few more sips from the cup. Eventually he started humming along to the song playing. His eyelids felt heavier, and he nearly fell asleep before he felt a warm hand tapping his forearm. Izuku jolted up, trying to blink the sleepiness away from his eyes. Shoto was throwing away the cups when he turned to see what he was doing. "Do you want to go?" he asked, yawning a bit as wrapped his scarf around himself again. Seeing that Shoto nodded, he quickly stood up and grabbed Shoto by the arm, calling out goodbye to Hako. Izuku could feel his fingers numbing all over again, the temperature having dropped even more since before the two of them had entered the coffee shop. Shoto was walking beside him now, rather than behind him. Out of the corner of his eye, he could see the soft flush on the heterochromatic boy's cheeks, most likely due to the frigid weather. Izuku quickly huddled Shoto into the house, not wanting either of them to stay outside anymore. Noticing his mom's shoes by the door, he quickly called out to her to alert her of the boy he'd brought home. "Mom, I brought a friend I bumped into. He didn't have anywhere to stay," he called, motioning for Shoto to take off his shoes. "Can he stay for tonight?" The sound of the sink turning off left, quickly replaced with footsteps padding into the room. Oh, sure. His mom's head peeked out from the kitchen before turning back around to finish what Izuku assumed was cleaning the dishes. Shoto shuffled up behind him and muttered, "Are you sure I can stay here?" To which Izuku quickly nodded, answering some nonsense about how it would be too difficult to go home in this storm. Really, he knew that reason was a lie, and the real reason he wouldn't let Shoto go home is because of his father, if you could even call him that. Pulling him into his room, Izuku quickly sat him down on his bed, rushing into another room to get an extra futon and blanket for Shoto. He picked up a toothbrush as well before realizing that he would need to give the other boy some of his own clothes. Putting the futon and blanket down, he shuffled over to his closet, trying to find a shirt and pair of pants that would fit him. Unfortunately for him, Shoto was at the very least a couple inches taller than him, making it near impossible to find anything that would fit the taller boy. Finally grabbing a t-shirt from a hero convention a few years ago and a pair of sweatpants that would definitely still be too small for Shoto, who was standing awkwardly in the center of the room as if unsure about what he should do. "Here," he said, handing over the clothes and a toothbrush. "You can change into these and sleep on that futon." He tapped the makeshift bed he'd just made before pointing in the direction of the bathroom, telling Shoto he could go change there. Izuku dropped a blanket on the futon, mind filling with thoughts that wouldn't flow earlier. Were the burns that Shoto had earlier from his father? Most likely, now that he thought about it. And while he really didn't want to believe that Endeavor could do anything that Shoto had talked about, the hero wasn't exactly known for being kind and benevolent. Izuku's head kept racing as he stumbled over to his closet, pulling out every piece of Endeavor merch that he owned, though he thankfully didn't own a lot. As he grabbed the lighter, sitting by his bed that had been used for studying fire quirks, not really accurate, but he didn't have a better source of fire, the sound of footsteps increased and Izuku turned to see Shoto coming back into the room. "You have a lot of All Might things," the other boy muttered, edging to carefully sit down on the futon. Izuku smiled sheepishly, realizing that both the t-shirt and sweatpants he'd given Shoto had some sort of All Might print on it, along with the blanket sitting on the futon. "Yeah, I really admire him as a hero. I really want to be like him in the future, like, as a symbol of peace. He's so good at saving people and taking down citizens, and he can always keep a smile on his face even if he's in a dangerous situation. Honestly, I think that he's the best kind of hero there can be," Izuku rambled before pausing as he realized that he probably should have phrased that last sentence differently. "Sorry," he quickly apologized, hoping he hadn't brought up bad memories for the heterochromatic boy. Thankfully, Shoto only smiled a bit, quickly reassuring Izuku. "I like him too. He's a good hero." Looking away from him, Shoto quietly added, "If only every hero was like him." And maybe he hadn't meant for Izuku to hear, but the green-haired boy had definitely heard him. Unsure about whether or not he should say something about that, he decided on another question. "Do you want to be a hero?" Too late, he realized that most likely also wasn't a good question, but it was too late to stuff the words back down his throat. Izuku gulped, holding his breath in fear that Shoto might freeze up or lash out. Thankfully, he did neither. Instead, Shoto just sighed from where he sat in the room. "Yes." Izuku's eyes widened in shock. Obviously, he had wanted to be a hero, but considering Shoto's father, he didn't think the other boy would want to as well, though he supposed that he might want to be a hero to save others from similar situations. However, it would make more sense for him to just hate the hero field. "No, you misunderstood," Shoto said, his voice a bit more firm than all his previous words. It surprised Izuku, since he'd never heard Shoto say anything with that much resolve, especially since he didn't speak much in general. Shoto drew in a deep breath before continuing. "I want to be a hero, with a lowercase h." Viridian eyes stared at Shoto in confusion, not sure what he meant by that. After all, was there a difference between a hero and a hero? Weren't they the same thing? Apparently, recognizing the look of confusion on Izuku's face, Shoto decided to explain again, though it took effort to put his thoughts into words. "A hero," he began, looking slightly unsure of what he was about to say, "is a job. It's just someone who saves people because it's their occupation. Even if they like saving people, at the end of the day, being a hero is just a job." Fidgeting with his hand, Shoto's eyes darted around the room, clearly losing any streak of confidence and reassurance he had earlier. Izuku looked at him, motioning for him to continue, as despite being a hero fan, he didn't know or realize there was a difference between a hero and a hero. But a hero with the lowercase h, is someone who saves another person because they looked like they needed help. They don't have to be in the hero occupation to do that. It could be a doctor, shop owner, lawyer, or whatever. They're the people who saved someone because they looked like they needed it. Izuku furrowed his eyebrows, trying to comprehend what the two-toned boy had just told him. Realizing he had forgotten something, Shoto quickly added, with a somehow even quieter voice, "But a lot of heroes are also heroes to the people they saved." Nodding his head, the green-haired boy moved to grab a post-it note, scrawling down everything Shoto had said as quickly as possible. The more he thought about it, the more it made sense. Honestly, Izuku thought he was stupid for not noticing that sooner. When he was done, he walked over to the light switch, passing Shoto, who was now curled up in the futon under the blankets. The darkness was calming. After all the heavy topics that he had talked about, it was a relief to get a break. For the first few minutes, maybe even an hour had passed, Izuku just lied in silence. Shoto didn't snore. In fact, he could hardly hear him breathe, so the only noise was the quiet humming of the heater. Since his mom had gone to bed too, the sound of footsteps from outside his bedroom had also ceased to be heard. Despite that, Izuku wasn't quite sure he could fall asleep, since he might see himself punching Endeavor, which, for what it's worth, wouldn't exactly be a bad thing to be thinking about, although he would probably wake up frustrated and angry if he did. Izuku's eyelids started drooping, his eyesight feathering out to the sound of the heater in the background. It was much warmer inside, and the several blankets he had also helped keeping the harsh winter cold out of his room. His pillow wrapped around his head softly, and if you think about it, villains could be heroes too. This is from the author's note. I'm skipping a majority of it. It does list the 2 songs mentioned. Izuku playing at the beginning of the chapter is Medicine by Sound Remedy, and the lo-fi hip-hop song mentioned is Deathbed, Coffee for Your Head by Powfu, which are both really good songs. I really like Deathbed. But the part I wanted to read, and this is quoting exactly from the author's note, so my is like from the author's perspective. That's why I always hesitate to say my when I'm reading these. When Shoto was talking about the difference between a capital H hero and a lowercase hero, it was actually part of my thought process when I was watching My Hero Academia. The MHA universe has an actual occupation of being a capital H hero, but my thoughts were that not every capital H hero would be just a lowercase h hero to others. A person noted for courageous acts or nobility of character. That's the dictionary definition for the word lowercase hero, seen as capital heroes, often can use property damage, ex Mount Lady. They could be seen as villainous in the eyes of the people whose property they destroyed. There's also the case of accidentally killing or severely injuring people who were in the line of fire. For example, President Mike could easily damage someone's eardrums permanently, even if it's not on purpose. That just shows how much somebody who works as a capital H hero as a job might not be an actual hero, lowercase, in the eyes of the people. Hey, hello. So, that was the end of Prelude Maxixe. Chapter 5, again, is literally just saying that the author has decided to discontinue the series. They apologized, so that they just can't finish writing it, don't have motivation, or really like where it was going in general. They have said that it is up for adoption if anyone wants to continue where they left off for the series. So the next part I post will be Interlude Morganite. I suck with words. Okay. So 2 things. 1, the end note, the author's note, that mentioned President Mike. I fucking love his character, his quirk. Honestly, I'm blanking on the name now. It was posted by, Echo, Rainstorm, Echo. I'm gonna say Eco normally. They posted it. It's Kamideku. Mito is a adopted by Aizawa and Mike. He's a bird. Screech, that's the fic. Sorry, I was talking about, like, the Podfic. Because I mostly just listen to Podfics as my way of consuming My Hero Academia content. Fanfics mostly. You know, I listen to, like, Podfics. Screech is an amazing fic. I love it. It does actually touch on Present Mike's, like, pure power level and how destructive his quirk is in a way that is absolutely phenomenal. Like, I really like how the author did that. One second. And there's a Class 1A Civil War fic. 1 second. I'm pulling it up. Put Your Hands Up. Podfix did it. Cat. Oh, okay. There's her channel. I just, like, have it on speed dial, essentially. Okay. Where is my scrolly thing? I hate YouTube sometimes. Color Crime's a Work of Art. That one. I can't see who wrote it. One second. Color Crime's a Work of Art by Goring Writing? Okay. I have listened to that entire series so many times. I like how it touches on just how smart and low-key resourceful President Mike is. Like, his character deserves more recognition. Okay, second thing I wanted to touch on, this, background. It's not exactly, like, what I usually do. I made this at, like, 10 p.m. last night, and I had to keep stopping because my hand hurt. You will see it is my profile picture now. Do expect it to change a few more times. The hair is very wonky. I don't like it. I'm also just picky. No, if anyone has any advice for what I should do for, like, a profile picture or something, please, tell me. Also, I've been debating setting up a Discord server, and specifically just so I have a place where people can request, like, fics for me to reach out to the author of, to Podfic, mostly one-shots. I am definitely more of a one-shot girl. Like, you've seen how long it's taken me to do 4 parts of a series. Imagine if I did, like, a 20-chapter series. Shit would probably be going on a year. Unless it was, like, during the summer, then it probably wouldn't take as long, because I was gonna say I have more free time in the summer, and then I remembered I work 2 jobs. But, like, summer I don't have school, you know, summer break, all that lovely stuff. Currently, technically I haven't started winter break yet, but, like, it is very close this Friday, I'm supposed to. I say this, this is not me, like, confirming an age, by the way, because, like, college and high school have this stuff. I would rather my age stay a mystery. Ooh, ah. I say it like it's some big question. No, at least for now. I'd prefer y'all don't know that much about me. I'm trying to remember what the other thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, I apologize for the 3-month absence. Like, oh, you know, like, oh, didn't mean to do that. It just kind of happened. I have no concept of time. Oh, not 3 months, it's only been 2 months. A bit better. But, yeah. Also, thank you to the people who have subscribed. Like, I was not expecting that. It's not much, but it's bigger than my old class was. So, yeah, my old school, the biggest class we had for years was my class when we were in 1st grade, and we topped out at 23 people, and that was, like, the record for the biggest class for a while there. So having 27 subscribers is kind of scary to me. But it's not even a lot. Like, I talk to over 27 people regularly at my job. But, Dixie, don't you dare. Dog. Dixie. Sorry, I just had to stop because I saw this dumb little puppy Dixie, my sister's dog, who I've mentioned before, I saw her hackles go up and she kind of sat up, so I knew she was going to start barking, so I had to stop recording for a second there. I don't really think there's much else for me to say. In the meantime, if I do end up, like, actually making, a Discord, essentially, well, I do want actual, like, feedback on that, actually, but in the meantime, if you have any recommendations, preferably, you'd go to, the single community post I have, and ask for, again, preferably one-shots there, so I can, like, with the fic name and the author, and a link if you have it, but, like, I can find it otherwise, just, like, tell me what site it's on, preferably AO3, but that is, I was gonna say that's about it, and then I remembered, y'all, does anyone have any recommendations what I should do as, like, a banner on my channel? Currently, I'm using one that's around 2 years old from when I first set up this channel, and was Podfic. I didn't post anything, but, like, I've been wanting to post stuff, and I just never did. So, if anyone has any recommendations what I should replace my current banner with, that would be wondrous. Please and thank you. I honestly think that's about it. It's 2:33. I'm probably gonna go, oh wait, how long is Morganite? Morganite's 1,141 words. I could probably record Morganite today as well, and then post it, later. Maybe not today, but I'll schedule it. We'll see what I end up doing. Yeah. Thank you, so much for watching. I will see you here maybe soon again. I don't know. I was gonna say love you because I just, like, saw a message from my younger sibling, but no, that is you. Not you, but, like, oh my gosh. I can't do outros. I'm too fucking awkward for this shit. You did not just hear the swearing. I think I'm allowed to swear. My channel isn't monetized. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to swear. But thank you so much for watching. That noise was, in fact, me slapping my own shoulder because I'm weird. And I need to get focused, so I hit myself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Interlude Morganite will be out semi-soon, maybe. I make no promises. Hopefully. Have a wondrous next 24 hours, and I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.